You need to let go of those friends. You need to let go of those friends. You know exactly who they are. Maybe they're acquaintances. Maybe it's a relationship that you're in. Maybe it's a work environment that you're in. Maybe it's a family member or a family structure. You need to let that go right now. And you know that you need to let that go. Right now, you're on a path to becoming the best person that you've ever been. Becoming the greatest human being that you can be. But there's energies holding you back. And you're aware that there's energies holding you back. You've been accepting what is mediocre for a very long time. You probably got into this situation thinking that it was going to be the greatest thing. You believed at the time that it was going to be the perfect situation for you. But slowly but surely you realize that this situation isn't really what I thought it was going to be. But you're staying in this situation. Why? Why are you choosing to accept less of what life has to offer when life is so abundant? Why are you choosing to settle for something that doesn't represent you? How long will you accept it? Who you're around has a very strong influence over how you see yourself and over what you believe that you deserve from this life. You could be in a black hole emotionally right now. Black hole where you're just like, oh my God, nothing makes sense. I'm lost. Nobody loves me. I don't even love myself. And you're wondering why you've been in there for so long. Sometimes you gotta check the people that you're around. Who's been encouraging this? Who's been supporting this? The people that love you have accepted you in this state for so long. Does that make sense? Now think about it in another way. If you loved someone, if you cared for someone, if you wanted someone to succeed, how would that look? Would you encourage them? I think so. Would you remind them of how much they mean to you? I think so. Would you try to facilitate their success? I think so. Would you encourage them into being the best person that they could be because you know how much they're worth, either overtly or subtly? Sometimes you're not the most extroverted person, but you're gonna do these little subtle things to make sure that they know that you got their back. That's what you would do, right? Yet you're in this black hole with all of these people that you think are your people, and you've been there for how long? Does it make any sense? I don't think so. The biggest deterrent to your progress right now is probably the people that you're attaching yourself to. Give yourself an opportunity to be by reevaluating the people around you, reevaluating and rethinking your environment so that you can reshape it, shape it into something that represents the person that you are becoming. Not for the person that you are. The person that you are right now, you're beat up, you're in that black hole, right? You're trying to get out of it. So why are you supporting something that is not who you want to be and expecting for you to become something different? Who said this? I think Einstein. Leave it in the comments who actually said this, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. You're providing for, sustaining a version of you that you don't even want to be. And you're sustaining and feeding this by maintaining the environment around that person. So think of this like a plant. Now, if you want the plant to live, you're gonna make sure it has the sun that's coming in, shining in. You're gonna make sure that you feed it every now and then with water, nice water. You know, maybe mix the soil with coffee grounds so it can get the nutrients that it needs. Now, you're feeding the flower, you're feeding the plant, but you're saying that you don't want the plant to live. You don't even like the plant. So why are you feeding it? You're that plant. You're feeding it something that is necessary for it to grow. So you're giving it the negative reinforcements that it needs. You're keeping the negative energy around you. You're keeping this dull mentality. That is sustaining the growth of that flower. And it's going to continue to be as long as you keep feeding it. Only when you take a step back, separate from that environment, refuse to feed that person that you don't want to be, and start to feed the person that you want to be. Start nurturing the flower that you want to become. Start decorating your garden. That can only happen once you start to let go what is not a representation of you. You're only going to become who you are when you stop being who you're not. Start being yourself. Start giving yourself a chance to become who you know that you can be. Let go of those people. Let go of that environment. It's the same thing like trying to fly a hot air balloon. The more you take out of the hot air balloon, the more weight you take off of the hot air balloon, is the higher that the hot air balloon is gonna fly. The more weight you take off of your shoulders, the more you take off of the life that you don't want. The more you take off those negative friends, the family members, girlfriend that just nags you, or the boyfriend that just bothers you and bothers your soul, but you're maintaining it because you think that that's what you thought that that's what you needed. The more you take off this weight, you have no idea what's gonna be on the other side. But one thing that you can be sure of, take off the weight, you're gonna float. And when you float, at least you're gonna be able to see everything that's available so that you can make a choice, because you're going higher and higher and higher and higher. Then you have a bird's eye view of the whole terrain. Before you were all cooped up. Now you can see. So yes, letting go is gonna be scary. Yes, letting go can be confusing. But one thing letting go for sure is, as well as those things, is revealing. And maybe it's time for you to see who you can actually be in 2023.